Hello everybody, GL1 here, and today I'm going to talk about several different things, but the first one is Snap Ships. And today I was in a secondhand store and I picked up this Snap Ship for $5. And you may have seen these in Target because last year they were in Target, a whole bunch of them, and they looked pretty neat. But they went on clearance. I guess nobody really realized that they were pretty neat, and they kind of just went away. And so you could see that it's a whole bunch of different pieces that connect together with cubes and various other pieces, and you see inside there's like a round depression, and those all snap together. What people who didn't play with these, including myself, realize is that they snap together really well and are not easy to take apart, which is a good thing. They come with a special tool to pry the pieces apart, and it's great because they just don't fall apart that easily. And it comes with a stand. At the top of the box actually doubles as a stand. It has a little stand piece that you attach to the top, and then you have your little spaceship. And now this was missing some pieces, as one may expect in a secondhand store. So I was like, well, it looked like a lot of the pieces were there. So I like to build spaceships anyway, and I'll build a spaceship. So this is the ship that I came up with, and it came with a little bag that was sealed. And it was a special something inside, like Alienware. And that are these little red pieces that are a kind of a soft rubber, okay? And you can just attach those onto your spaceship. And if you'll see here again, this is the ship. This is what it was supposed to look like. It was missing this whole front piece. So I really couldn't build it that way. And I like to use all the pieces that it comes with. So I worked with the design. I worked with the designer. No, but I worked with my own design, and I came up with a ship that uses all the pieces, pretty much. And it came with a little guy, and to me it's amazing that that wasn't missing. He comes apart, but that's okay. It's got a little ball joint inside, and that just snaps in there. And then he can twist and bend like that. And I think, no, his arms don't bend. Okay, I thought they did. All right, so that's that guy. And he is the same scale. If you'll notice episode 134 on the Army Men, the little Army Men, you can see here's the German guy with the German Shepherd. So, they're similar scale. So to take a look at that there. All right, and then the instructions actually were with it, so that was great too. And this toy has these little missiles that they're pressure activated, so you just push on the back. They're snapped in. This is the new, we're not going to spend the money on springs missile launching system. So it's just a little sphere that snaps into something here, and you have to push on it. I don't know how I feel about that. I sort of feel like it was really cool when things were spring-loaded and they snapped in. And the thing about it is they last. I mean, I've got spring-loaded toys that are over 40 years old, so it's not like the springs wear out. So anyway, this is the ship I came up with. But what this reminded me of is Zoids. And I had Zoids all the way back from 1982. But then later on, sometime in the 90s, they reissued Zoids, and they've come out with Zoids all the way into the 2000s, different sets of Zoids. And if you try to look up Zoids, as I have, okay, Zoids, or Tech Zoids, as they were originally called, there's so much information that is not concise. To find out the dates of things and when a line came out. There's just over 200 different models, and it's not that easy to find information on them. But, as I was showing you, that on the box here, you see that it has these cubes that it's put together with? Well, these Zoids that I have also go together with cubes, and I will show you one of those right here. So this one, I have a bunch. This is like a flying beetle of some sort, right? Because it's got like the pinchers like a beetle. And you see the cubes? It has these cubes. And the cubes had connecting pieces that were like ball joints. So you see how it has a ball joint and it's rubber inside, and then that pushes in, and then you can move it all around. And the connecting pieces, if you put enough of them, then you could make it so that something would stay together more solid and not move all around. Because sometimes you do want things to move all around, like the tail. You want the tail to be able to move, and you want the legs to be able to move. So see, the legs move, and it even has ball joints for the feet, so you can move those in all different directions. So it makes for a highly articulated robotic action figure. And Zoids they're supposed to be alive, so they're biotechnical living beings, and kind of like Transformers, right? And for some reason, that wasn't good enough for Planet Zi, where they come from. They also had guys that came inside them, that came in a little spaceship. So you had this little fella. Now, he doesn't articulate or anything. There you go. He's in a spacesuit. And then he can go in there. And then you can actually take this off, and then you can fly it around. And this is very similar to the 1982 models I have that I'm going to show you. But let's see how it goes on right there. Okay. And you can customize these however you want. And I put them all back together as best I could in their original form years ago when I was packing them up in a box. And I just said, let me just put them back together the way they pretty much were, so that it's easier not to lose any pieces or forget how they originally came together, because I don't always save the directions or boxes, and if I do, I don't always remember where I put it. So that's one Zoid. But what's really, to me, kind of exciting is that I have the original two Zoids that my collection started out with. And I remember my father gave me these. And, I was quite young at the time. And this is like a T-Rex Zoid. And it has a little spaceship on top. And then there's the little gold guy that sits in there. And if you'll notice, you see this little damage to the covering that goes the clear covering. Well, let me tell you how that happened, because this is a lesson for you. Do not put real rubber toys, such as little rubber monsters or rubber animals, in with plastic. Because if it sits there long enough, it eats into the plastic and can ruin your toy. That's what happened. So I didn't know that back then, and I remember being pretty upset about it. But anyway, here's the little spaceship. See? And that comes off. And if you just notice, it kind of started walking on its own, because they are wind-up power. And you'd wind that up. Now, this guy's probably going to fall over, because he always did. But come on. And you tap them. And that's 1980s technology for you. Okay. But the point is that he's supposed to work. Yeah, you can go like that and make sure, like pick them up and move them along. The way he came as a kit, and it came with these little rubber pieces that held it together. So the arm will come off. Everything has to fit together in just the right way, you see, so that when you wind the motor, it's spiraling around, and then it's pushing up a lever, and that lever hits this armature, and then the arm floats up and down. And in order to hold that on, you have to put these little rubber pieces. How I did not lose anything on this in 41 years is pretty amazing. And equally as amazing as I didn't lose any pieces on this either. This is the elephant version, but I always thought it was a triceratops when I was a kid because I wasn't thinking clearly. Clearly, it's an elephant. It has elephant ears and it has no horns. But I guess because that was a dinosaur, I was thinking this is the dinosaur. And this one winds up too, and it will walk. You see, it walks. And I actually had to fix this because it came out of alignment. And you could just pull the pieces apart and put all the levers back in place, and then he's back to walking. So those are the really old ones, and I don't know when I got this one. And in fact, I can't really give you a date on these things. I can kind of give you just approximates because, like I said, trying to look these things up. I know those are 1982 by Tomy, Tomy, and that's about where my knowledge is going to end on the specifics. So this is a scarab beetle, and he's wind up. So I'm presuming, he also has those little rubber pieces here that hold them together. So I think this is late 80s or early 90s. And look at him go. So that's pretty neat. And how is it that he only goes forward and not backwards? Isn't that amazing? And then his wings go up. So that's a neat wind-up toy. I know there's not a lot of neat wind-up toys these days. Everything's gone to batteries. But, you don't have to worry about batteries. Now, there was a little guy that was supposed to sit in here, but he's gone. So he didn't make it. But, they're alive, so you don't really need a guy, right? All right. So those are the 3 wind-up ones. Now, there were other ones that came out. I think these are in the 90s. I'm pretty sure they are, actually. And I would say late 90s, or you know what, they could be early 2000s. In any case, I've had them a long time, and this one obviously is a big spider. So he has his little palpilli, his little, that they stab things with, and they come apart. These toys do come apart. That way you can arrange them in different ways. And his legs move a little bit of articulation there. But that's where they inject the poison and they bite. And it comes with a little guy. And you see he's sitting up here. He's a gunnery guy right now. But you can take him out of that position. He kind of snaps in there. It's a friction, a wedge in there. And you can put him in the chair. So there he is in his Zoid. And this has a missile that you push down, and it fires the missile, but it does more. That's the spooky sound. So there you go. So it makes several different sounds, and then that spins all around, and that comes out. And in order to get to the batteries, which I had to refigure out how to do, because it takes those little round cells, LR44s. Okay, just in case you wondered. The good thing about using those little round cells is that even when they go bad, because they did, they don't burst open and ruin your toys that easily. They can be in there for 30 years and you can luck out. So you had to take that. I had to take that apart and then open that, and that's where the batteries went in there. So, and then that just goes right back in there. So I'm just showing you how, all these things, they come apart, and, like this comes off. You see, you can take off the shielding. So it gives you options to do different things, whatever you like there. All right. So the other one that's really neat is the gorilla. So there's a gorilla Zoid, and I love gorillas. And I actually worked with gorillas at a couple of zoos. And here's a gorilla. And the guy, this is neat, it's in the back here. And look at that. And he's in the back of the head there. So, and he comes out. But there's more. Push the button, and look at that. He can power up. There's lights all over. So, and he articulates, and, you can move his shoulders all around, and his legs and his feet, they move, and his elbows move. They do kind of fall apart a little easily, but, they're also good. in that you can put them in different positions and they can, articulate well. So that's, and like I said, they come apart easy so you can change them. But that's what I like about these Snap Ships, because even though they come apart in the same way, when you put those things together, they really go together well. So you can still get them on eBay and Amazon. They're cheaper overall on eBay. They were really inexpensive when they went clearance on Target, but I don't think you're going to find any there any longer. So, all right, here you go. This is an owl, obviously, and he can move all around, and he can turn his wings like that, and actually probably like that, right? So he's coming in and he's bombardiering, and you can move his legs back, and he can swoop down on whatever he's doing. I don't have a little guy for him, so I don't know if it didn't come with one or it lost it, but he's not the only one that I don't have a little guy with. So I'm thinking that maybe some of them came like as a drone with another set and it doesn't come with a person. So maybe that's how it is. Because the other one that I don't have a guy for is this turtle kind of looking snapping turtle. I believe this is a snapping turtle. Because he looks like he's got a snapping turtle head, right? So you don't want to get bit by that. And the mouth opens and closes. And he articulates, his head can turn around and he can move his arms and his legs. So there might have been something that went on top there, or it just gives you an option to put something on top. And here, this one here, this is another dinosaur. So the Zoids are based on, like Power Rangers Zords, they're based on animals, insects, and arachnids, and other various kinds of dinosaurs, and which are also animals, right? So anyway, here this is obviously an aquatic ancient, based on an aquatic ancient reptile. Okay, and that has a guy that sits up in here. So let's see. Oh, this has a little thumb thing. Yeah, there you go. And there, he's in there, sitting in there. And if you ever have any of these and you're worried about losing the guy, you can put a little dab of shoe glue, and it won't disintegrate the plastic. And if you really want to remove it, you could, but it will stay in there really well. You can get shoe glue at Walmart for $5. Comes in a big tube. And it is very, very good for many, many things. It's weatherproof, it's clear, it's waterproof, it stands up to high heat, it dries pretty quickly as well, so it's good for a lot of different things. All right, and this is, I think this is like a raptor. So he's got the big toenail, and he's got, 3 fingers. And raptors have 3 fingers. And there's the guy that sits up in here. And so he's got, guns on his legs. But you can put those on his elbows if you want. They move around. You see, you can just twist that and take that off, and then just stick that on here if you wanted. So gives you that option. And there's more. So, and then we have another turtle. So this one's really cute, right? It looks definitely like a turtle. And it does not walk. That would be cool. There's a little fella in there. So here we go. And he's riding around in comfort. And he's got a missile launch here. Push that, and then here we go. There. And the missile comes out. I didn't see a way to get this apart easily to get to the battery, but I suspect it does. I think you probably have to pull it apart sideways and put some batteries in there. And I ran out of batteries anyway, but it probably makes similar sounds to the other one. And this one over here. So this is not a T-Rex because it has 3 fingers. It's based on, actually, you know what? I think, yeah, it's got 3. It's an allosaur. So allosaurs have 3 fingers, and when I was looking up Zoids, it said that they have one that's based on an allosaurus. So I'm presuming that that's this fella here. And this has springs for the missiles, but they're finger released. So you push up on that, and then there you go. Finger. And that's to me a little bit more acceptable. I had a lot of toys in the 70s that had spring-loaded missiles, so I'm a little bit partial to having spring-loaded firing toys. I still think it's cool. And this goes all around like that. Now, this does not come apart. So, it's, and it does have a little guy. That's right. Right in there. Really small. So he's actually a smaller scale. There you go. Take a look at this guy. And he's got some detail to him. Some paint detail. And actually he has like a backpack and a visor. I mean, the other ones do too, but they're not painted with the detail. So he's got little painted boots and gloves. So that's pretty neat. And again, how I didn't lose that amazes me. I sometimes operate under the theory that if you put everything in a sealed container, you probably won't lose the pieces. Sometimes that actually doesn't work out, though. I think sometimes they fall apart inside the big container, and then when you're removing them out of the container at some point, a little piece goes flying off somewhere and you don't notice it. So, I think those are the pluses and minuses about how that works. All right, so now we're getting a little bit more advanced here, and I'm going to show you this gigantic Allosaur Zoid. All right, take a look at this guy. And this is, from what I could see, worth a lot of money. It was a model that I had to build, and I'm a little bit surprised I actually bought this because it looks like it was a lot of pieces, but I did, and it used to light up. The eyes would light up, and I think maybe even inside the mouth, but it didn't work for long. The lighting up part did not work for long. So, I just made do. I did take it apart and try to repair it twice, and I think I got it working. I feel like I did once for a little while, but it didn't last, and I'm not going to take it apart again. But the walking does work, it never walked that well. It's heavy, and it's hard to get something like these motorized toys with the two legs to walk well. But I will show you how that works. So, and his legs get stuck on themselves, just like wind-up toys. And there he goes. All right, so you know what? If you take him off the ground, and you can see how his legs work. Star Wars AT-AT, it is not. But you see the arms move, and I think, okay. I thought the head used to go around. That might be. It has two sets of batteries inside. So one set does the lights, and I think it made the head move back and forth. And then the other set moved this gear system that moved the legs, the arms, and made the tail swing back and forth. So, it's a novelty to just see it move, but it's not really functional to play with as far as walking. So, I saw it on eBay for $500, and, I wouldn't do that. All right, and this has a guy too. There he is up in there, and I did glue that guy in because I was afraid I was going to lose him. So this one, yeah, I put him in the box, and his pieces do come apart, and I did have to keep putting them back together. And some of these pieces are pretty small, like it has these little gray pieces that inlay, and I lost one. And that's one of those things where it's like, wait, it was all in the box. Why is that one missing? But I haven't been able to find it. All right, and I am almost done because I have something to show you that is a Radio Shack toy that they made in, I guess, the Zoid, sort of the Zoid style, we can call it. This one also comes all apart. You can, rearrange all the different pieces in different ways. You can see like, okay, this missile comes off, and this missile is designed to go into a spring-loaded piece, but there's no spring-loaded firing mechanism. And then you have, you can turn these however you'd like. So you can turn them like that, and then they can move out. And so you can adjust those. And it has a guy, and he is not to scale with these guys. And he looks like the mold for the Battlestar Galactica toy back in the 70s. There was the Vipers, the Battlestar Galactica Viper, and they were brown. The little people were brown. And I had one. I don't have it any longer. But it looked a lot like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just reused that mold. But I could be remembering incorrectly. But it does look like him if it's not the same mold. And obviously that guy will not fit up inside this, but the little Zoid guys will. So you could put one of those in there, and then you see it has these like jets here, and spin those like a gear. All right, and this walks. Now these are all the pieces that came with it. So you cannot attach this like rolling part to it if you don't want to. You could just have it walk by itself. But what happened is the electronics, the switch actually went bad. Now, I could replace the switch, but I came up with another solution because I really don't play with this thing. It's more like I have had it a long time. I've had it for over 25 years, and it just sits on a shelf, and I like looking at it. So in order to get it working, because I do like everything to be working, it ran on 2 AA batteries, which is 3 volts, okay? Well, I came up with a way of using these clips. What I did is I went up inside it, and I found the wires that connected to where the switch was, and then I soldered wires to the positive and negative of the switch. Okay, so now as soon as you put voltage onto it, there's actually no on-off switch. It will just turn on. So where to get the voltage from, right? So because I can't put the batteries inside because they would run on the switch. So I use these mini alligator clips, and then I have a battery pack. But this is meant to run on only 2 AA batteries. So I only have one that has 4. So I made my own null batteries, N-U-L-L. So these actually are not batteries at all. They just send the electricity through so I can keep the voltage to 3 volts. Because if I put batteries in there, then it'll be 6 volts, and that might burn the electronics up. So I take tinfoil and I roll it, and it's pretty firm. After you roll enough, like a foot of tinfoil, fold it in half, and then roll it and make your own like null battery connector. And so that's going to pass the voltage. Now you don't want to let this touch, because then that'll short circuit. It won't hurt you or anything, but it won't run, and it could damage the batteries. If you left it that way, connected for a long time, touching each other, that would be bad. The batteries could overheat and blow up a little bit. So you don't want that to happen. But here we go. And it should start walking. There we go. And back that up a little bit. And you see the turret spins and he walks. And there you go. So, making things that don't work. All right. Well, it was fun and exciting showing you my Zoid collection. I hope that you enjoyed that. And you can definitely find Zoids online and still get them, and they're still neat. There's a lot of Zoid kits that you could get. So this is just a small sample, and I look forward to showing you something exciting in the future. Thanks for watching.